Hey guys, it's Caroline, career and leadership coach. And today I'm going to talk about interview rejections and how to deal with interview rejections, because a lot of clients that I talk to, and before they join the career success program, they go to interviews, the first, the second, the third interview, and they end up in a situation where they yet again get rejected. And this is affecting multiple areas of their life. It affects their confidence. They're doubting their own skills and ability, and they're doubting themselves. For like they're thinking, what's the point? And the worst thing is that if you really want to get out of your current job, then if you're in a situation where you are rejected, then you think like, I have to start all over again. And that is so frustrating, and it just plainly sucks. So there are a couple of ways that you can handle that, and that's what I wanted to share those strategies with you, so you can have more insights about what to do next in a job interview. Now, before I go into that, there is something vital that I want to tell you. And before I tell you that, what I want you to do is put in the comments if you have experienced something like that before, if what your biggest takeaways are going to be from this session, from this live stream, so I can know which one it was an aha moment for you. So first of all, what you need to know: interviewing is a skill you can learn, and the only way to learn something is like riding a bike. The only way you can learn to ride a bike is by practice, practice, practice. You don't learn to ride a bike from reading a book. You learn by practice, and interviewing is just the same. You can just do all the research and do all the things, but the only way you do is by practice. And that's one of the things that I do with my clients through the career success program, is mock interviews and practice, practice, practice. So I'm convinced that they can do it. Anyway, so before you actually get rejected, I want to talk about how to nail the interview, because this is such an important part that a lot of people are get stuck in, because they want to step up in their career, go to the next step, go to the next level. And so what got you to your current position is not necessarily going to get you to the next one. So because the higher up in the corporate ladder you climb, the more competitive it becomes. So, and you also, and here's the thing also that people don't realize, is that you need to shift your view and reframe your experience from tactical, practical, operational to strategic leadership skills. And that takes a shift in the way you come across and what you articulate to them. So you need to be very clear about that too. So that's the first thing, is understanding really those things. All right, perfect. So then in an interview, what I want you to do, the first step is your preparation. And your preparation, people say like, yeah, of course, I look at the job description, I look at the people that I'm going to meet and so on, I do my research and so on. But that is not enough in preparation. Preparation, it goes so much deeper, and you need to peel back the onion. What kind of interview is it going to be? Is it going to be competency based? Is it going to be behavioral based? What competencies are they going to ask? Is it going to be scenario based? Are they just going to go through my resume? Is it going to be an informal interview? And I need to say on that, there's no such thing as an informal interview, because even though they are informal, people are still going to make a judgment at the end of it, whether to hire you, whether to have another interview or not. So even though they might see it as an informal interview, you still need to be able to treat it as a formal interview. So you need to do your research and be very clear about what you can expect, because the biggest reason why people fail in an interview is because they don't know what to expect. They don't know what they're stepping into. And so that's why your preparation is vital for your success. And then secondly is actually understanding the interview flow itself, how you can be persuasive, how you can actually influence it, and not feel like a sitting duck expecting that everything comes to you and just like that you're powerless, is how you can navigate that. And there are three things that you need to consider going into an interview. The first thing that you need to know is, if you're not a cultural fit, people are going to reject you. So, and that is a good thing, because if you don't fit in their culture, you don't want to be there. You need to have alignment for you to actually be able to thrive and really flow in that organization. So that's the first thing. Otherwise, you're not going to make an impact, not going to make a difference anyway. So second thing is that you have to understand their thought, their mindset. If they just had a fight with their spouse and being in an interview, or if they have an important meeting with the senior directors, their mindset is not going to be 100% focused on the interview. It might, but it might not. So you have to say, like, some things are not in your control. But here's the thing that's so important in that: it's not a reflection of you, it's a reflection of where they're at, and nothing you can do and can say can change that. So that's the second part. And the third part is completely in your control, but most people don't realize that. And that is, your only job in an interview is to give them the confidence that you can do it, the confidence that you can not only do it, but overachieve in the role. That is your job. And if you fail at doing that, they're just not going to consider you. And that's it. You have to give that confidence. And giving that confidence, that needs practice. That needs to be clear understanding what it is that your unique value proposition is, how you can solve their problem. And if you fail to articulate that in an interview, and a lot of people, senior managers that I work with do, if you fail to communicate that, then you're not going to succeed in the interview. So that is the interview phase. So what if you now get rejected? Because basically, like I said, it sucks. You actually have your hopes up, and then you actually come to the conclusion that, hey, you have to start all over again. And so what most people do is they close off and they just sit in their shell, and it's like, okay, that's it. And they have to recharge. And I understand that you need to recharge. But what I want you to do is, first of all, shake it up. Shake off that negativity, that, like, look at it as objective as possible. Don't have an emotional attachment. Don't say they reject me. Like, that's not the point, because that is not going to help or serve you moving forward. Because a lot of people, they go in the next interview taking that negative energy with them, and that is not going to help you. So first of all, I want you to shake it up. Secondly, what I want you to do is actually be able to ask specific feedback. Now, specific feedback, how you do that is by understanding, like, okay, this is how the interview went. And now I'm going to ask, okay, so let me rephrase that. A lot of people struggle to get any feedback from an interview. They always say, like, oh yeah, do you have any feedback for me, how I can improve? And they get a bullshit answer, because basically the other person says to them, like, oh, we just chosen a candidate with more skills and experience instead of you. And so I can understand that, but you need to be more specific in your questions, in like what it was that you want feedback of. What are the top 3 things that I can improve? And then you narrow it down. And basically, if the HR or the recruiter says, oh, I'm not sure, the hiring manager hasn't provided me feedback, then you say, like, would you mind going away and asking those things, those 3 things? But be very specific on what feedback you want and what you want to have feedback on, so that they actually can come back to you with like a real answer. You're not always going to get that, and I know that, I realize that, but you have to be able to handle that objection, because it's an objection and you need to be able to handle that. Secondly, what I want you to do is extend your network, because basically you just met somebody, you spend time there. If you have a great connection with them, like after you got rejected, instead of like saying like, oh, this was pointless, I want you to actually get back on the horse and actually email them and say like, look, thank you so much for having the opportunity. I really connected with you. I really connected and really like the organization. I understand that you have chosen another candidate, another successful applicant, but I would love to stay in touch with you. And if any opportunities, any other opportunities come up, please feel free to reach out. I also might send you a connection request through LinkedIn. And boom, you expanded your network. Again, this is not always appropriate in any case, because if you had a more junior role, the first interview, that might actually just, you didn't have a real connection. But a lot of people have a really good connection in the interview with the person that's interviewing them. And in that case, you can take that just that next step further. And it works like magic. I know a client that actually got another opportunity that was almost like semi-created for him because of that strategy. Because he went, did exactly that. A couple of weeks later, the guy, they had a new role coming up, and he said like he would be fantastic in this role. So that is basically what you create. But instead of looking defensive and depleted, like, oh my God, this is not going the way I want to, you cannot take control in it and make changes that you want. Third thing that you need to do is learn, learn, learn. Now, most people say, yeah, I'll learn. It's like, no, actually, not a lot of people do. Is after the interview, you haven't gotten feedback yet, write down the questions that they ask. And those questions you can ask back when you ask specific feedback on those things. But write down the questions, get an idea about, okay, what it is that they are asking, and self-assess. And that way you can practice again and you can actually nail it next time. But not a lot of people write down those questions time and time again. Like, look, to be honest, I'm going to not sugarcoat code it. It's like Einstein's definition of insanity is like, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome. If you realize your interview skills are not as good as they should be, you can't expect something to happen, not for the ideal job that you're looking for, or a job that you really say like, oh my God, this is going to be meaty. You're always going to become second or third. So you need to face it up and take accountability like that and say like, look, I need to improve my interview skills, because interviewing is a skill, and a skill you can learn, and you learn by practice. So reach out, whether it's to me or somebody else. Make sure that you have enough experience about what they expect in an interview, how you come across in an interview, and have enough training so you know what is going to be next. So I hope this resonated with you. So below this video and live stream, I want to know your biggest takeaways, your aha moment. Give me a thumbs up if you really like this message and if it resonated with you, or share this live stream with anyone that you know might need to hear it, because I know that interviewing can be a lonely thing and it can affect your confidence, and I'm here to help and support you. If you want to take the next step, I will share a link. Schedule in a call, newhorizoncoaching.com.au/call. Now, I am, like I said, career and leadership coach. And if you don't know me, my specialty is helping people land their next six-figure leadership role, where they feel challenged, fulfilled, and where they get paid what they're worth. And I work with people all over the world. So if you say like, look, this is an area that I need to really invest in, and this is an area that I know that I want to step up and I want to work on my personal development, then this is something that I would invite you to do. Scheduling a call, and on the call, what we do is zoom in, really understand your current situation, because every situation is different. So I want to get to know what your situation is, where you want to be, your dream, like your dream job, what that looks like. And then we're going to identify together the roadblocks in between. We're going to put together a plan, a big picture plan, so you'll be able to move forward no matter what. And at the end of the call, if you say, Caroline, I want you to help me implement this, then we can talk about that too. But either way, this is going to be amazing in terms of the results and outcomes that you will have to move forward in your career. And that is all that you need at this stage. So hope this helped. And like I said, give me thumbs up, connect with me if we're not connected, and I will speak to you tomorrow. See ya. Bye.